Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Modern Human Podcast with your hosts, Wendy
and Brenda. Hello.
Hey, guys.
We're kind of laughing because we actually had to start over because our microphone wasn't on, and which is a really important theme for this podcast. So we are wrapping up the February painting and this idea of shifting into this powerful manifesting frequency of the no thing within us and integrating with all that we really are. And we really wanted to hone in on the power chakra because that's really like this awakening piece of being physically, spiritually, intellectually, emotionally in alignment with our hearts and who we really are, right? I know you said some really good things too.
I said basically the keys to the universe. Like,
too bad the recorder wasn't on.
Too bad. We missed it. Wait, I didn't miss it. I was there. Anyways, what were we saying? We were talking about, the importance of the power chakra, because as the painting is showing you here, it's like, obviously there's a lot of yellow components, eyes of the owl, beak, and the cross here. But as you enter in, and this lushness is representative of the heart space, and that's the center, bringing you back to the center of this cross. But moving into this portal, which is also representative of the heart space, first Spirit wanted us to know that we have to enter kind of with our power chakras, which is interesting. So it's our heart and then our power, which kind of is leading into March, because I've already started March's painting, and so it makes a lot of sense now. But how important the power chakra is. I mean, in different Eastern cultures, obviously the power chakra is where your chi is, your energy, your essence, your soul. Though we do believe that the heart has, we know that it has chambers and resonances that our hearts can actually connect to quantum realms that our power chakra cannot. So to us, we definitely feel like the heart is a portal within itself, but the power chakra, it's interesting, right? The importance of it, because we're exploring it, because our guides will obviously move us through our own things to understand, so we can teach these things better. So they're showing us these little nuances with power in our choices, basically.
And the importance of the microphone not being on, right? Because we were questioning whether or not, like, we were having a conversation about the heart or the throat chakra. Oh, see, still. So shifting into being in alignment with all of these parts. So the divinity of our heart space, like this is where divine guidance is within the heart space, and that part of God that exists within us and then activates throughout from this initial opening, right? And then shifting into like our gut instincts, like what feels right for us, and backing that up. And then if we're not speaking our truth, like this is kind of the conversation that we were having prior to starting, was like, if we're not speaking our truth and what feels right for us, whether it's in our gut and our heart space together, then we're getting out of balance, right? We're having experiences that are dramatic, or I would say even dysfunctional. So now dysfunction does function. It just does it in ways that are kind of promoting and creating things that really we may not consciously wish for ourselves. And that's okay. Those are the opportunities that give us chances to love ourselves and see ourselves and meet the parts of me that let's say feel afraid to step into my power, the parts of me that feel that I'm being judged or criticized. And those would obviously be elements that I'm doing within my own self. But, this painting helps us kind of navigate, if we can be still and quiet and notice, right, the nuances of all of myself, and allow myself, empower myself to act in ways in alignment with how I really feel. And I don't know what I want to say there, but I kind of want to hold it for a minute. I know it's a little bit uncomfortable, but how I feel, but how that internal, like, divinity is like guiding me. Like, those are the things I want to speak from. I want to speak from that space. Am I explaining that well? I might not be.
No, it's almost like, how do we embody our soul, or how do we embody our higher self into the physical realm of activity, of speaking, of like, how do you, as a divine being, how how do we be human, basically? But I feel like the physicality of it, I feel like maybe in a way, because the stomach actually does have its own brain, right? So the heart has its own kind of brain as well. And we have a brain. So we actually have 3 brains in our system. And so our stomach is one of them. So I feel like that's extremely significant. Meaning checking in with that part of our being, you know?
Right. Does this physically feel safe for me? Does this allow me to be free, right? Because the power chakra is all about being your authentic self. It is all about the freedom to just messily express and be vulnerable and real, raw, words suck sometimes. Just, the joy of that, the freedom of that. And then being able to speak in a way that is divine. I don't know why I keep coming back to this.
I do feel like it's, it is the color yellow. So, we do have to speak, if it's a primary color, yellow is a primary color and blue is also a primary color. And then the other essential piece of that would be the root, which would be the red, and I feel like what they're showing me right now in this moment is that if we activate all of these energy centers in our body and they're at a frequency that resonates with love, like what you're talking about, that's actually where you can move mountains. You can actually manifest and move physical reality.
So matter creating substance, yeah.
Yeah. And when that is off balance, physical reality will be demonstrated against that, will show you or mirror for you
right
the resistance within that space physically. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I feel like I want to just be quiet and still for a minute because I'm feeling something just poke at my
power chakra,
at my awareness, poke at my, something to do with speaking.
I mean, it makes sense because our hearts are green, the heart chakra is green, and green is a combination of yellow and blue. Right?
Right.
So it's meaning if color is frequency, it means that chakra is holding frequency from your power chakra and energy from your throat chakra. So it's a combination of that. Right? So it's going to directly affect the heart, your power chakra is, and your throat. I mean, they're all going to impact each other, but as we're breaking this down. Because one of the things that's coming up for us is sometimes you really know in your heart what it is that you want to do, or you even need to do. But making that so, or acting on that, is difficult sometimes. So we're curious as to why. Because sometimes the knowing is the hard piece, right? And when you know something, it should be easy just to back up because you know without a doubt, right? You know without a doubt what to do. I know I don't like my job, right? Why is it so hard to quit?
Right.
Why is it so hard to choose what feels right for you?
And it's not necessarily one thing, right? We're going to look at thoughts or patterns that say what we shouldn't, or and we're going to reconcile with those and heal those. And sometimes it's, we're allowing our job to mirror how we treat ourselves inside. So if we're used to, let's say, chaos and drama, and our job is mirroring that, then that's that subconscious, again, opportunity to heal and repair. And yet we're noticing in this new frequency that's now on the planet that with this power chakra moving that reality to choose something different, right? Hence the name of the painting that I know I totally never got wrong at any given time, which I know it has.
She wants to change the names of my painting all the time. I'm just joking.
It's more an energy. I can read the energy.
Yeah.
And so allowing yourself to step out of one way of being, and maybe that's part of this message, with the directions, is you're allowed to just leave that dense or uncomfortable frequency into another.
Right. But what's that invisible force that stops us?
Wouldn't it be the choice?
or just your shadow?
Well, for sure. I mean, we're all of our parts are creating and manifesting all at one time, and then the whole point is to bring them into alignment with each other, break bread, become best friends with all of the nuances, so that all the parts are then in agreement, let's say, or in the same frequency of like.
Do you think that when you do know what to choose, because that's what this pain is called, choosing, right? So when you know what to choose, right, you're connecting with your heart, like it's a job, right? Let's say it's a job, it's an easy thing. Right? The job is enjoyable. It's not that it's bad. It's just no longer serves you. So it's not dramatic, and it's not necessarily even a mirror in that way. But let's just say or even it's a relationship or whatever, right? You know without a doubt it's done, or you're over, or you're ready to move on. Why? That's what I'm saying. It's like, why? Actually know what to do, right? You know what to do.
You mean like quit?
Yeah, quit.
Okay.
You know what to do. Why is it that that's so hard sometimes? Like, what is the imbalance there? It's got to be it.
From the power chakra space, that's really the context of this conversation. Because obviously in a thought pattern, we can identify the thoughts that say, well, you can't quit because you're making money, or, like those are things we all have to reconcile with in this human experience, of course.
By becoming self-aware of your thoughts that come in, yeah.
Right. But then in the power chakra,
it's hard to move
to a frequency.
Even like, it's better for you to work out, right? It's good for you to work out. How many of us don't do that? Or how many of we actually do know to eat healthy? How many of us do that? So it's like, and then we use those things as a berating ourselves or judging and criticizing ourselves. But it's like, why are we not? It's kind of all feels the same to me. It's like there's this absence of energy, and this is our chi, right? So it's kind of like, this is meaning you have access to the amount of energy of a sun or star, right? Like that's in your chi. So we don't have that to back up these things, even though they might be the best thing for us.
I'm truly in this moment, I really feel like it's a lot of judgment. It's a lot of criticizing how we feel and what we think, because the fastest way to working out, or let's say eating better, is to love what you are eating, love what you are doing. It's the fastest way. Mm-hmm. Honor and respect that you feel like sitting around every day, all day long, doing nothing. And slowly and surely, if you can authentically, in all of this alignment, you will automatically bring yourself back to, I'm gonna go for a walk. I feel like eating a salad. Like, right. That's the quickest way to it. And
there's no drama.
Right. There's no push-pull. There's no drama.
Right.
There's no...
Which means us and our ability not to actually make that choice is more of like our addiction to the drama.
Or judgment. Judgment for me is like the criticism or the competition.
Which to me is that energy exchange of, low self-worth, of like, yeah, you're beating yourself up, and you're just so used to beating yourself up. Like, no, that's actually the thing. It has nothing to do with the job or the relationship. It's just you and yourself internally putting yourself through hell because you're just used to that discomfort.
Right. Or those thought patterns. I mean, like, it doesn't feel like just
engaging with that energy, whatever that is, because you don't like it, but then you continually do it.
And that totally makes sense to me, because in the heart space, if we feel unworthy, if we do feel angry, then it gives an outlet even to allow for that feeling to express itself, because feelings have to be seen, heard, validated, and loved. So I'm feeling unworthy, so that I'm having this experience that I'm not allowed to like speak up or say no or quit my job, right? Like those are parts of the elements that are then mirrored out in front of me. I really like this conversation though about understanding how judgment causes harm, because that's been something I've felt for a really long time. I know I've talked a lot about just it literally moves us out of a higher frequency of functioning. It moves us out of a loving frequency of functioning. And I know it totally goes against like this multi-dimensional 5D world. It cannot exist there. And because I can feel the energy, it's very jarring, it's very attacking.
So maybe it's really that's how we misuse our own power.
Right.
That's how we're misusing our own chi.
Right.
Is that we're using it to keep us in this almost like victimization paradigm.
And
or
small, and
small.
we're not taking responsibility. Well, you're the only creator in this experience. Could you just shift it? And we're kind of like going, well, no, I can't because I'm being lazy because I'm sitting on my butt.
But that's still using your power
Yes.
to do it.
Right. Instead of intentfully, consciously, powerfully, lovingly saying, I am perfect just the way I am, and really feeling into that energy, and then notice what comes next, what arises. I'm getting huge chills.
Yeah.
So this is like, yay.
That's it, because we're abusing our own power.
Right.
Against ourselves.
Right.
And that's how we do it. When we keep ourselves in a moment, even though we're listening to our hearts and it's saying, leave the relationship, leave the job, do whatever, or eat healthy, whatever, but then we don't do it. It's all the power chakra. It's all misuse of power.
Yeah, and it's one of the things like I'll talk about in my practice when I'm helping others. It's like being in this energy of like, okay, well, love and approve of what you're doing and accept it for whatever it is. If you make a choice, let's say to eat healthy, then just own that. Say, no, every day I'm eating better. Every day I get healthier with my eating choices. Whatever version aligns with you, start saying that, but then start feeling that and then being that. That's your quickest way. If you can remove the judgment and the criticism of whatever choice you make after making that conscious choice.
Yeah, I really like how you say, and I've taken that on myself, where you say, I get better at it every day. Meaning it gives you this allowance and this grace of space to say, hey, I really do want to eat healthy, but I had cookies last night or whatever. Whatever, I'm doing better. I am better. I did eat this. So it's like kind of twisting our perspective to seeing more of the positive. And it allows it really what it is, because this chakra is all about freedom. It gives you that freedom.
Right.
Right. Because if this chakra is all about freedom, those judgments and criticisms, those are just prison bars.
No, it cuts us out of our freedom. So literally we're just closing our power chakra.
And so then we don't have energy to act on our voice or our thoughts or our heart's will.
Right. And to love ourselves, which is what we're here for. We're here to allow ourselves to receive all the goodnesses. Oh, I love this so much. It's going to change how I communicate a little bit about it, because to me, it's so much more important than even what I thought, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like having a different relationship with yourself in a way,
Mm-hmm.
And figuring out, hey, maybe allowing for yourself to even be seen. I can see that, like, be seen a little bit more and be like, hey, I don't know if I want to leave my job yet. I don't know if I feel safe enough. Or it does allow a little bit more room to explore that, instead of like you're doing something wrong.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Feels good.
That's part of it. Like, it's just the whole journey, right? So we need to allow ourselves to be present in that.
I feel like that's a good place to stop. And we're going to start again in March here next week.
This feeling we're going to be talking more about power.
Yep. It definitely is already showing up in the other painting. So, all right. Well, so whatever you do, whatever you're doing with your power chakra, wherever you might be with your choosing with love, right?
Allow yourself to be free without any judgment, any criticism, any competition, or any comparison of yourself or anything.
And you're getting better every day.
That's right.
So
that was Louise Hay, by the way.
Was it?
Say, yeah, she would always say that, so I love it so much.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know. I heard from you. We're all in this together.
That's right.
So. All right. Until next time, guys.
All right. I love you.
Sending love.